All right, vibrato made easy. Hi, my name is Dave. I teach people how to play the saxophone. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hey, for those of you who are regulars, I would love to meet with you and work on whatever issues that you have via Zoom. I have room on the Zoom calendar for March and April. The best way is to just reach out to me at the contact information I'll put in the description below. Send me an email, and if you would, pick out a single, like a problem, one issue, one burning issue that's really bugging you, all right? Excuse me. And let me see if I can help you with that, design some way to help you out. Most often I can, but sometimes I can't. So I'd like to know in advance before we burn up any Zoom time at your expense that I can actually help you, okay? So let's do that. If you're up for a lesson, I'd love to meet you. Again, contact information in the description below. Now, today's session, Vibrato Made Easy, comes from a couple of requests. A couple of you have written in and said, hey, how do I do vibrato? And as it turns out, I can help you with that, all right? Vibrato is not hard. It's maybe a little challenging in the beginning here, but it's nothing that you can't do. If I can do it, you can do it, okay? For today's session, I'm going to be working on this big borrowed tenor. So look at this gigantic tenor sax here, this huge thing. And that's a Shape Your Own Sound mouthpiece, SYOS, and I kind of like it, all right? The alto is in the repair shop for reasons I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just leave it there. Anyway, it'll be back, but I'm going to use this tenor to teach you vibrato. So before we put the horn in our mouth, it's just a simple procedure that you have to know to do in order to make this work. Now, air support at all times. You got to support that. The air never stops, and that's one problem that emerging sax players deal with, is that, they cut off the air when we start to do anything new. So what happens here is you basically make this all work with your lower jaw, as if you were going to say wah, 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 wah. It's all together now. Wah, 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 right? Now, that wouldn't be a very exciting vibrato, would it? Let me show you on the horn. Not a very exciting vibrato, but that's where we start. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with, right? So set your metronome, use metronomics on this, all right? Set the metronome for something like, 60, 65, something really easy. And pick an easy note. For this, I picked tenor sax G. And this is a daily driver. You want to do this every day while you're developing your vibrato, okay? In time, you will have it imprinted into your technique, your bag of articulation, so that you can use it when you're playing songs, all right? That's part B of the lesson, and we'll get to that in 1 second here. But so you're going to start right here, and do it with me if you want. You see my lip moving just a little bit there, and you hear the constant air support. That's the thing you're not allowed to do. Don't cut off the air. Keep the air flowing. Big breath. As you get better at it, move the metronomics up to, say, 75. Right? And then as you get better at that, when you're clean at any technique, you can move up in speed, not until you are clean at that technique. Don't be dirty in a technique and then think, well, I'm just going to jump ahead, because that ain't going to work, all right? Only move ahead when you've really mastered the level that you're at. Let's move it up to 95. And I'm just kind of guessing what these are because my metronome and my phone, which I'm using to record this right now, are one and the same. And not too much pinch on the reed now, all right? We're loose as can be. Wah, 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 right? And air support. Air aplenty. Don't ever run out of air. There, that gives you a little bit of an idea of what you're up against in your quest to create vibrato. Okay, now here's the part B of the lesson. Part B of the session is that in order to use vibrato, which is what the whole point of this is, right? You want to listen to as many different opportunities as you can of sax players. Like many have gone before us, and the great wisdom of those who founded YouTube, we can now watch and listen. We can watch and listen, right? We don't have to just listen to a record. When I was starting out as a youngster, we just had records. And that's, there wasn't, I know it's hard to imagine, but there weren't computers, there weren't phones that did magical things like this one does. We just used record players, and or we learned from each other. We learned from older mentor style players. And I know that's not what we're doing. Well, we're kind of doing that now here, right? But it's a bit removed. I mean, I can't hear you, and I'd love to be able to hear you. So if any of you want to send in recordings of you doing vibrato, use the contact information below. I'd love to hear what you're doing. But listen to as many different people and catch what they're doing. Stan Getz has a real unique little vibrato thing he does at the end of the note. And I'm not sure I can quite get it. Let's stay on tenor sax G. It's a little vibrato at the end. Sometimes it's more pronounced than that. But you'll get it as you listen to more and more players who are using vibrato as a tool in their expression in the medium of this music that we call jazz. Now, vibrato shows up anywhere too. I mean, R&B and smooth jazz. The smooth jazz guys have a whole different kind of vibrato, and it's one that I don't really know how to do because I don't use it. So I've never learned how to do that. So if you want to do the smooth jazz vibrato, just again, it's different. The technique is different. You got to go find a smooth jazz teacher and hook up and see if they can impart their wisdom on you, okay? But this is more of a R&B, straight ahead, your basic American songbook jazz, rock and roll, whatever, gospel. It's something that, yes, you can overuse, but it's up to you. This is your show, okay? I would recommend listening to, Stan Getz and Paul Desmond. To me, they're bookends of that beautiful sound. Different saxes, tenor and alto, but they really have a very similar approach if you listen to them. Sherman Irby uses vibrato in a very old school way, but it's absolutely beautiful. So check out what he's doing as well, and listen to as many as you can. Just Jackie McLean, Lee Konitz, Art Pepper. My goodness, I've been listening to a lot of Art Pepper. Build yourself a little collection of saxophone artists that you enjoy listening to. Ernie Watts on tenor sax, Kirk Whalum on tenor sax, and listen to them and see how they use this as you work at developing your own vibrato with your wah, 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 and your metronome. That's all I got for today. I hope this helps. I'm glad you're there. Thank you so much. Work well together. Play your horn as much. Enjoy. Have fun. And be good to each other. All right? See you next time. Take care.